Welcome back to another episode of the Michigan Magnet Man. My name is Tanner, the Michigan Magnet Man, and I had a great time in California. As many of you guys know, I spent the last month in California, and this is going to be the first episode of the series of my trip there. We're going to start off this trip with a trip down to Pier 39 in San Francisco, as well as Chinatown down in San Francisco. So I hope you guys really enjoy the trip and the little tour that we went on. Without further ado, let's jump into today's video. Welcome to San Francisco. Founded in 1776 by colonists from Spain, is a cultural, commercial, and financial center here in Northern California.
Fixing it on the, like cleaning stuff on the.
Now this is probably the coolest bathroom I've ever come across. You push a button on the outside, it's in the middle of the center, and it opens up the door for you to go in. And then on your way out, you just push the button again and it opens right up for you and lets you back out. I thought it was so sick.
You are all Michigan? Michigan.
Our next stop is going to be Pier 39. Now Pier 39 is a shopping center and popular tourist attraction built here on the pier in San Francisco. There's shops, restaurants, video arcades, street performances, and an aquarium on the bay where you can see lots of good views. Now, one of my very favorite parts about coming down to Pier 39 always is coming down here to look at the sea lions. Check out these guys. Boudin, known for their sourdough bread, is recognized as the oldest continually operated business here in San Francisco. This hill is known as Mount Davidson. Standing at 938 foot tall, it is known as the highest point in San Francisco.
Ella es una abusadora.
Abusadora, 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 abusadora.
We're going to be walking through Chinatown. We'll have one or two small stops before we reach the gates. Like I said, it's going to take about an hour and a half. In the very middle of the square, you're going to see this monument. This monument is known as Dewey Monument. It was dedicated by President Theodore Roosevelt in 1903. It commemorates the victory at Manila Bay by Commodore Dewey in 1898. At the foot of the gate, you will see two lion statues. These are known as foo dogs. The foo dog on the left is a male. He has his paw over a orb. This represents power and superiority over the earth.
Y si encontraste en mi pasado una razón para quererme o para olvidarme, sí que es cariño.
Yeah, I'm walking on this side. I'm going under the dignitary one.
And rooftops of all these buildings. This is where you're going to find the most detailed and intricate architecture throughout this district. Chinatown is home to over 300 to 400 different Chinese restaurants. However, if you look directly ahead of you, you will see Sabra's Grill and Restaurant, which is in fact Mediterranean and not Chinese. In 1848, James Marshall discovered gold outside of Sutter's Mill in Sacramento, California. In 1849, San Francisco became the heart of the gold rush. I'm gonna wait for that. Towards behind is the Far East Cafe. Looks like it's closed now, but maybe you can check their business site for hours. This restaurant is where we bring all our famous people, dignitaries, presidents, and celebrities when they are in town. It's very good. I definitely recommend checking it out, especially when it's actually open. Fortunately, the cable cars are not running right now, and this is because of 3 reasons. A, they are extremely expensive to operate. The brake pads are made of wood, and they have to be changed every 3 days. The cables are extremely long, and they have to be changed every 3 weeks. Not an easy feat. We can't start up again, dude. As a clinker brick. That means this brick has been fired twice. Once when the brick was created, and a second time when the fires raged throughout the city of San Francisco, burning for 3.5 days and reaching temperatures of up to 5,000 degrees. This makes an incredibly strong brick. This is a very famous alleyway, and it has been used in countless movies and television shows.
Ross Alley is one of Chinatown's busiest alleyways, home to a mix of residences and businesses reflecting the everyday life and cultural traditions of the neighborhood. Tourists observe fortune cookies still folded by hand, local residents celebrate occasions with plants and flowers, or consult herbalists for Chinese remedies.
250 other Mormon missionaries.
If you look up above, you can see the cables to the San Francisco cable car system, which is the world's last manually operated cable car system. Our next stop was the Ferry Building Clock Tower. Now, the original special number 4 clock was made in 1898 by the Boston clockmaker E. Howard, and in 2000 the original clock mechanism was refurbished and is still complete and intact. Haight-Ashbury, also known as Hashbury by Hunter S. Thompson, was a district sought out by the hippies for their counterculture ideals, drugs, and music. Built between 1933 and 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge is a suspension bridge that spans 1 mile wide. It is possibly the most beautiful and certainly the most photographed bridge in the entire world. In 1937, the Golden Gate was both the longest and the tallest suspension bridge in the world, and is known as one of the main wonders of the world. No trip to San Francisco can be finished without a bread bowl full of some of their world-famous clam chowder, and boy was it good. I mean, just look at it. Who does not enjoy a delicious sourdough bread bowl with some of the best clam chowder in the entire world? That's going to be all for today's episode, guys. If you like today's episode, make sure you guys hit subscribe and get those alerts turned on. I post new clips over to my Instagram every single day, and I post new clips over to my YouTube channel every single Friday. See you guys next week.
Y si encontraste en mi pasado una razón para quererme o para olvidarme,